What up YouTube? So I have another tutorial that was requested and I really wanted to make a video for you guys that could help you out, especially if you have trouble with smoky eyes or how to prep a face with smoky eye. This is the look I came up with today. I'm actually obsessed with it. Like, I'm not even front end or anything. And I don't do smoky eyes too often, so I'm actually like pretty impressed. If you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. I actually wasn't gonna film this look. Someone had requested me to do this look to kind of show how I do a smoky eye. But I feel like smoky eyes are pretty hard at first, especially if you aren't used to blending so much. I actually learned this smoky eye technique from Desi Perkins, and I feel like it's very helpful even if you are not that good at makeup. So I'm gonna share it with you guys today, and of course the person who asked, here is your tutorial. Sorry it took so long. But the first I'm going to go in with the Baked Browns palette by Dose of Colors, and I'm going to use Deserted and Outdoorsy as my crease color. And if you watched my last tutorial, which was my quick basic look, those are the same colors I used in the crease. You can substitute these colors with any other colors you would like. You could do a black smoky eye instead, purples, pinks, reds, all of that. But I'm just going to keep it pretty simple and just brown. Specifically, it was a brown smoky eye that was asked. So, using a fluffy brush, I am going to apply it to the crease. The reason why I use a fluffy brush is because it doesn't concentrate the eyeshadow in one part of my eye or be very exact with it. It actually disperses it very blended throughout the crease so that we are able to really get pigment and eyeshadow into the crease. I'm going to go straight to the lids and I'm going to start working on the smoky eye. So from the Jaclyn Hill palette, I am going to take a dark brown shade, which is right there. And that is the shade I am going to use for the smoky eye part of the lid. To apply that shadow, I am going to be using this brush right here. And it's like a flat shader brush, but it's dense so that you can pack on the eyeshadow. I'm going to start right on my lash line. For me, prior to learning it this way, I would apply black or dark brown in my crease already and then work down. Applying it from the lash line to the crease is so much easier. I'm just packing it on and then I'm slowly taking the color higher, closer to the crease. Then once I start to get it in the crease, I'll go in with my fluffy brush again, no product, and just start to blend it. I'm blending it so that it blends into the crease. It's not just sitting on top or packed on. Then, because we blended, you're going to knock off some product. So I'm going to go back into the dark brown and add it to the lid again. Now I'm just like looking at both eyes, making sure it's even. And especially if you have a crease like I do that kind of goes into the shadow, you really want a good base so that your smokiness doesn't crease, because if it does, it's definitely noticeable. So make sure you have a good base, whether that be an eyeshadow primer or concealer and a setting powder. And the key to smoky eyes is really blending, because you really want the gradient effect of the smoky eye going from a darker color to a lighter color. You don't want any harshness unless you are doing like a cut crease. And if you watched my last video, this is where knowing where your crease is comes in handy. For the lack of, I didn't say the correct term for it, the orbital bone is where your crease sits, and that's where you want your crease. So it's not this crease that's created by your eyes, the crease that your bone structure gives. So then next, I'm going to take this shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm going to apply that to my brow bone, and that will help to blend out the crease shade. So for me, with a smoky eye, I really like the dark aspect of it that exists around the lash line area. I am going to smoke out my lash line on my eyelid with Dark Matter by Milk Cosmetics, and it is just a very black eyeshadow. And I'm taking it on this Morphe E35 brush. It's just like a small, thin shader brush. And I'm keeping the smoky line really tight to my lash line. And I'm also flicking it up into the dark brown. So when I blend out around the crease, I keep it pretty tight. I'm not too big with the swirling motions. So I'm going to put on lashes and all of that. And I'll show you how I would do my face, because I feel like for a smoky eye, contours a little more darker, highlights a little more brighter, all that kind of stuff. So I will come back and we will do the face together. I have my foundation on, so now I'm going to go in with concealer. Now for smoky eyes, I would generally do a shade lighter, just because if you're going smoky eye, you're going glam. You know what I mean? I'm going to take light neutral, which is this one right here. I'm going to apply that just right under the eyes. Then I'm going to use this beauty sponge and I'm going to blend it out. I'm going to use the bottom of the sponge, which has leftover foundation. And I'm just kind of going to just blend it so that it's not so defined. Then I'm going to do the same, use the same concealer to highlight the center of my face. I wipe off as much product as I can and just use whatever is on the sponge or the applicator. So then I go in forehead, bridge, tip, with the nose, cupid's bow, and chin. So now I'm just blending it out, and I'm just using the bottom sponge to blend it out, because although the foundation is still there, I do just want it not fully light here. I want all the attention to be for the under eyes, but I still do want, you know, the highlight, the contour, all that good stuff. So now I am going to set the concealer, and I am going to use, I'm going to use Laura Mercier's translucent powder. I like to turn it upside down so that I can get powder into the cap. And I'm just going to use my same beauty sponge I used before. I'm just going to set the concealer. This is called baking, so I am going to bake, which sets the concealer and also helps to brighten. So I like to get it really tight on the nose, just because I like a really skinny nose contour. And then I apply it to my laugh lines, just so that they don't crease when I smile. And I also like to apply it here. So especially because we did a smoky eye, I'm going to want a really defined contour. So just like so. And we also need to bake the center. Let it bake for a little bit, and while it bakes, I'm going to show you how we smoke the lower lash line. So first I'm going to go in with Dose of Colors, and I'm just going to take Outdoorsy, which is that center shade right there. I'm just going to take that to apply to the lash line. I'm going to go in with the dark brown shade we used earlier, and I'm going to use this brush. This brush actually came in the Dose of Colors eyeshadow palette, and it's actually a really good brush, like for getting pretty precise. So I'm just going to keep this tight to the lash line. Then, using the same brush we used earlier with the black shadow, I'm going to use that again, and I'm just going to keep that even tighter. I'm going to tightline and line the waterline for my eyes, and I'm going to use It Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Liner. And I'm just going to run it on my top line on top. Then I'm going to apply it to the waterline. Then I'm going to use mascara, and I'm going to apply it to the lower lash line. So now I'm going to dust off the powder, and while I dust off the powder, I like to go in with my face powder, BH Studio Pro Matte Finish Pressed Powder in the shade 230. Then I like to go in with a clean brush to dust off the powder under the eyes. So now I'm going to contour the nose, and I'm going to use the Laura Pro Contour Palette, and I'm going to use the shade Light Contour. Then I'm just gonna run my sponge. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna run my sponge over the contour to help calm it down, blend it out. Now I'm going to contour the cheekbones, and I'm gonna go in with medium contour. And I'm gonna use the foundation powder brush from earlier just to help blend that out. So now I'm going to bronze my face, and I'm going to use ColourPop's Pressed Powder Face in the shade In It to Win It. Take it on that same brush. And I'm just going to put it a little bit higher than the contour and just warm it up. Warm it up. So for blush, I'm going to use Milani's Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. Pick that up on a blush brush. And I'm just going to blend it. Calm it down a bit. And I'm going to highlight my nose. I'm going to be using Fenty Beauty's Kilowatt Highlighter in the shade Mean Money on the bridge of my nose. Then on the tip, so. Then I'm going to take Fuego by Dose of Colors, which is a highlighter. And I'm going to apply that using the same brush to the inner corners. And the cupid's bow. And I also like to apply it right under the brow bone. So right here. And I also apply it to the temple. Once again, you can go in with your powder brush to blend out any harsh areas. Now for the lips. What are we gonna do about the lips? Because I don't even know. Now I know what I want to do. So I'm gonna go in with Cocoa by Kylie Cosmetics in the shade Clo Money. And this liquid lipstick is like a nude toned warm color. And then I'm gonna go in with Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow. So this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you were able to learn a few things, grab a few tricks that will help improve your smoky eye. If you have any questions or any requests, you can leave them down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. If you want to keep up with me elsewhere, I am on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at Bryyykayyy. Subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean so much to me. And I'll see you guys in my next one.